Are you considering a move to Lubbock, Texas in 2023? If you are, stick around and check out these 5 things that you should know before moving here. Hey y'all, I'm Jayci with Keller Williams Realty here in Lubbock, Texas, and I'm sharing all things real estate related as well as things that you should know about Lubbock and the surrounding area. If you are new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit that bell if you want to be notified of any of my new videos that come out. And with that, let's get started. Number 1, you get all the big city perks without that big city feel. And what do I mean by that? Well, even though Lubbock comes in at just shy of 261,000 people, we still have that small town feel. Most anywhere you go, people are polite and friendly. You still have your characters out there that aren't always nice or honk at you in the morning traffic or any of that kind of thing. But for the most part, it's that good old boy small town feel that just makes you feel good. Whenever you go out anywhere and someone holds a door for you, someone says thank you, all of that kind of good stuff, which is nice and not something that you usually get in a big town. What's also nice about the big city, small town feel is that our commutes are usually pretty short. On average, you can get pretty much anywhere around Lubbock in 15 minutes. Of course, construction here and there slows you down or traffic accidents, but most of the time, 15 minutes is all you need to get anywhere within Lubbock. So it makes it really easy to commute between home and work or home and going out to do something. And it's just really nice not having to have those super long commutes that you would in Fort Worth or Dallas, Austin, Houston, and those types of towns. And 2 main contributors to how easy it is to get around Lubbock and shortening up that commute is the Loop and the Marcia Sharp. Once you get those 2 figured out, it's pretty easy to navigate anywhere around Lubbock. So I highly recommend, if and when you do move here, get those figured out so you can get anywhere you need to rather quickly. Number 2, there are so many things that you can do. From college sports to outdoor recreation, shopping, there is just a ton out there for you to do. And if anyone else tells you otherwise, they just simply don't go out and do anything. For college sports, of course, we have Texas Tech University. So there is football, basketball, baseball, all kinds of sporting events that you can go out and support the Red Raiders. And honestly, those games are always crazy in a good way. I will warn you though, if you go to a Tech basketball game, which I do recommend, it is lots of fun. Be prepared for lots of noise because you are in an enclosed space. It gets loud. Still fun, but it does get loud, so be warned. And then if sporting events aren't your thing and you rather do outdoor recreation, there is lots to do with that, from fishing and paddleboarding out at McKenzie Park or walking the trails to fishing at some of the playa lakes, or there is the adventure park where you can go out and do putt-putt, a rope climb. There's all kinds of fun things out there, or several parks that you can just go out and walk around Lubbock if that is your thing. And then there's also For Golf or the Range and some other golf courses if golf is more your speed. But there is so much to do as far as outdoor recreation goes. If you prefer the educational route, we do have a handful of museums and other learning areas that are really fun to go check out, like the Texas Tech Museum or the National Ranching Heritage Center or the Science Spectrum, or there's the Lubbock Lake Historical Park that you can go check out. There is so much great information out there, and I will say the Science Spectrum is 3 floors, I believe, of lots of fun. Even adults act like kids around there, and it's great. And it's a really fun way to learn new things or take your kiddos and see how they interact with everything. I know when we went, it was a blast, and I can't wait for my girls to get a little bit bigger to go check it out. And when it comes to nightlife or restaurants, there is plenty of options there as well. There is lots and lots of options for restaurants, whether you want to do fast food or sit down or hit up the mom and pop shops. There is tons of options. And if you are interested in kind of the more hole in the wall mom and pop type shops, head over to my Instagram at Jayci See Realtor and check out my series on hole in the wall restaurants in Lubbock. We also have a handful of breweries and wineries that you can go check out, and some of those are even pet friendly. So if you like taking your little fur babies with you on adventures and meeting new people, definitely look up those places and see which one fits your fancy and which one you want to go check out, because there are pet friendly options out there, which is a really great thing that Lubbock does offer to pet parents and pet lovers. And if shopping's more your thing, don't worry. We've got you covered. There are tons of options for shopping. Whether you like hitting up Hobby Lobby for some crafts or walking the mall, hitting up shopping centers, whatever it is you're looking for, we more than likely have it, because there are lots of shopping centers across Lubbock. We even have several different locations for antique shops, which is lots of fun to go see what kind of treasures you can find. So you can definitely get out there and shop till you drop in Lubbock. Number 3, the weather can get a little wild. And when I say wild, I mean we can have some big old swings in temperature differences. The types of swings that you crank on that heater whenever you leave for work in the morning and you're turning on the AC when you're headed home. Those temperatures can range in extremes in the wintertime, so December, January, down into the negatives some years, and extremes into the triple digits in the summertime between June and September. It can get really hot for days on end. And along with those extreme temperatures, we are an extremely dry climate. We are typically 18 inches below the national average for rainfall every year and 21 inches below the national average for snow every year. So we are definitely a dry desert climate. And with those extremes also comes the risk of tornadoes during storm seasons. Usually we don't have really bad tornadoes in Lubbock itself. Yes, there are some to the north of us and the east of us, occasionally a funnel cloud or some smaller tornadoes around Lubbock, but we actually haven't had a really bad tornado in Lubbock since May of 1970, when an F5 tore through downtown and claimed the lives of 26 people. We even had a memorial go up in 2021 in the downtown area dedicated to those victims. Now, I'm not trying to deter you. I'm just trying to put it out there so you know that tornadoes are a risk in this area. Now, the big thing, we get lots and lots of wind year round, especially bad in the springtime, but the wind blows all the time. And it's not just a breezy 20-mile-an-hour wind. We get up to the 50s, gusts of 70s. It can be pretty extreme, especially in front of storms. And along with the storms, the wind brings dust storms, which you may hear people call haboobs. And it's just a giant wall of dirt that comes in front of the storms being brought on by the wind. We even get haboobs sometimes without the storms, but they are commonly in front of those storms. And it's one of those things that's kind of hard to explain if you haven't ever experienced it. It's kind of striking, but also kind of scary at the same time. Once you get through it, you are fine. You know what to expect the next time. But I know there's a lot of people who have never experienced one before, and it kind of freaks them out. I luckily came from southern New Mexico, and I was kind of used to those kind of dust storm type situations. Maybe not quite to this extreme, but I still experienced it, so it wasn't as surprising to me as it has been to some other people that I've been around that have experienced it. So just be aware that we do get lots of wind and dust storms in association with it, as well as those extreme temperatures and the risk for tornadoes during storm season. Number 4, we are an economically diverse town and still able to maintain our low cost of living. We are actually the hub city because we are the hub for the region in education, healthcare, technology, and agriculture. So that brings a lot of jobs into Lubbock. We are actually above the national average when it comes to jobs, and we are increasing at a rate of 2.4% every single year. And our unemployment rate averages at 5.9%. Our two main sources of jobs come from the healthcare field and the education field. With Texas Tech University and Texas Tech University Health Science Center, we get lots of jobs through that, as well as UMC. UMC is actually the second largest medical network, and it employs over 4,000 residents. It also trains 400 physicians and nurses every single year. As far as our low cost of living, we're actually 8% below the national average when it comes to housing, transportation, and rent. And we are 14% below the national average for gas prices. Sadly, on the flip side to that, we are slightly above the national average when it comes to utilities and water, but overall, we still have a low cost of living compared to other large cities like Dallas and Fort Worth and Houston. Number 5. This is a little bit of a con, but not too much, because what I'm talking about is located not very far away. We have no mountains. And so there's no great mountains to look at. There's no place to really go hiking as far as true mountain hiking. But Ruidoso isn't very far away, which has plenty of hiking trails and all of that good stuff. But along with not having mountains, we also don't have anything to break up that wind that I was talking about earlier. So just be aware of it. It's not a deal breaker for most people, but I want you to be aware that it is a very flat landscape. And a lot of people will say you can stand on a can and see hundreds of miles. Maybe not quite that extreme, but you get my drift. Even though we are missing those great mountain views, we do have some killer sunrises and sunsets. The colors are absolutely phenomenal. So it's a little bit of a trade-off. We don't have the great mountain views and the tree views and that kind of thing, but we do have some great horizon views that we get to enjoy. So that's it. Those are the 5 things that you should know about before moving into Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock is a great place because it is a perfect balance of big city amenities with that kind of low-key rural living, and it's a great balance for a lot of folks. It's not for everyone, but for most people, they absolutely love it. They move here, and this is where they continue to call home for the rest of their lives. If you enjoyed the content in this video, please hit the like button. I would love to know what your thoughts are in the comments. If you have any suggestions or any questions, please drop them below. And like I said earlier, if you want to be updated whenever I post new content, hit the subscribe button and that bell to be notified whenever I share something new. And I'll catch y'all next time.